This is a 1963 wheel horse, model 7763. It has two 7-horsepower engines and a 3-speed transmission with a high-low range. There's two of everything here on the dash: choke controls, throttle controls, two separate ignition switches and starter buttons. There's the high-low range transmission controls. Down here the frame's been reinforced. Got to be able to withstand that extra power. The engines are identical. Kohler Model K161, 7-horsepower engines. The steering stops on the axle have been modified to allow the wheels to turn more. You need that for maneuverability with the long frame. This belt guard, which covers the belt between the two engines, uses the same design features as the rear belt guard, with that finger below the belt. The front belt's controlled by this pedal. The engines have to be disconnected from each other so you can start the engine separately. Once the engines are warmed up and connected, it drives like normal. This is what it looks like under the hood. First I'm going to do some maintenance. There's some bare metal surfaces here that need cleaned. Then I'll put some WD-40 on there and wipe off the excess. There's two throttle control knobs, but they don't do the same thing. One of them's the throttle control, and the other one selects which engine I want to control. Currently I have both engines selected. When I move the throttle, both linkages will move. Watch this gizmo here. When I move the selector cable, this piece moves to one side to release control of the rear engine. Now when I move the throttle, just the front linkage will move. I'll move that back and forth, then park it in a different place. Now watch the selector again. I'll release control of the front engine. Notice that little slot there. As I move the throttle, you'll see the latch snap into that slot. And now I'm latched onto the rear engine linkage. Watch the selector again. I'll move it to the center position. Now you'll see the latch snap into the other slot. So now I have control of both engines with the same throttle cable. There's 2 starters, but 1 charging system. If you had 2 regulators, they'd be fighting against each other and wouldn't get anything done. I start the front engine first, so the charging system don't try to make up the current draw while the second engine's cranking. It's probably been 5 years since I adjusted this. I just want to listen to it first. I'll leave the front belt disengaged so the 2 engines are not connected to each other. The idle speed is established by the throttle stop screw on each carburetor, so my linkage adjustment has no effect there. I want to crank it up a little and see how it sounds. I hear an occasional puffing sound. I'm going to mess with this rear throttle linkage, and I'm listening to the sound as I apply pressure each direction. I think it sounds a little more in sync when I apply pressure to the left. So I'm going to adjust this linkage here so it's a little more to the left. That's a little better, but I don't like that puffing sound. Sounds like one engine is missing a little bit. I'm going to turn off one engine and check the carburetor adjustment separately. I'll start with the rear engine. Yeah, there's a puffing sound. So I'll mess with the main adjustment here. Well, it's still in there, but I'm afraid to move the needle very far. I'm going to mess with the front engine. Yeah, there's a puffing sound there too. Okay, I think that fixed it. That sounds better. I moved it almost a half a turn. I want to check the rear engine again. Yeah, that sounds better. I moved that one a little more than a half turn. So now I'll try both again. And I'm going to mess with this rear throttle again to see if I want to change it. Yep, I'm going to move it a little more the same direction and try again. That front engine is hunting. It can't decide where it needs to be. The main needle needs some more adjusting. Now the front engine is stabilized, so that main adjusting screw is only off a little bit. That sounds good now. The puffing noise is gone. This adjusting arm is made in two parts, and it pivots in the middle on that bigger screw. The two smaller screws are on one part, and the center tab is on the other part. To adjust it, I loosen one screw and tighten the other the same amount. The throttle selector cable is extra long to get where it needs to be, so it's made in two parts and connected with this special bracket. Okay, one thing left to do. Alright, that's it.